Let's check out the for on your own problems. No pictures. They do tell you what shape it's supposed to be, so if you want to draw a picture, you're more than welcome to. For this one, it's a square. It's a square for two reasons. One, it says square. The other is it just says S equals. And from now until the end of math, if they ever give you a shape and they're only giving you one side, chances are it's probably a square, and the reason why is because square has all equal sides. So there is the work over here. This is what probably is on your paper. I hope you have your S squared. You substitute 15 in for S. You square 15. You get 225. Your final answer is 225 feet squared. Next up, it's a parallelogram. This time you're given the area, so you got to find the base. A little bit different than what has happened before. So we're going to substitute 32 in for A, and we're going to substitute 8 in for H. So we're going to write it like this, as 8B. And the reason we're going to write it as 8B and not B8 is because we learned back in chapter 7, chapter 8, that a coefficient and a variable should be in the following order that you see here: your number, your coefficient, and your variable second. So it doesn't matter that it's in the opposite order. Here it's listed as base height. Here we have height base. It does not matter because when you multiply, the order doesn't matter. We learned that. It's called the commutative property of multiplication. So the order doesn't matter. So just go ahead and flip it. And then we have 32 equals 8b. We're going to divide both sides by 8. That isolates the variable b. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Your answer is 4 meters. Next up, classic problem. We know the area, we know the base, we don't know the height. So let's substitute this number in for your area, this number in for your base, keep your height as h. Then we're going to have to divide both sides by 8 and 1/5. Now, if you have a calculator that has, fraction functionality, then you could easily do 51 and 1/4 divided by 8 and 1/5. If you don't have fraction functionality or mixed number functionality on your calculator, you can change 1/4 into 0.25, which we learned that's one of those automatic ones you should know by now. And then you can change 1/5 into 2/10. And we know that it's 2/10 or 0.2 because 1/5, if you multiply 1/5, if you multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, you get 2 over 10, which is 2/10. Or you can take 1 divided by 5, which gives you 0.2 on your calculator. So you could type this in as 51.25 divided by 8.2, and that should give you 6 1/4 or 6.25. Or you could do this all on a piece of paper. Take those two mixed numbers, change them into impropers, and then multiply using the reciprocal. Either way, it should be 6 1/4 inches. Make sure your final answer technically should be 1/4 inches, but if you want to type it in as a decimal, that's okay too. Next up, we have the parallelogram. It should be the missing height, so this one's pretty easy. You substitute your A, substitute your B. You divide by 11 on both sides of the equal sign. Keep your equation balanced. You end up getting 11 because 121 divided by 11 is 11, and your answer is going to be millimeters. So for all of these, if you simply put in the answer, like the number, that's okay. If you want to put the actual label, that's okay as well. If you don't put it in, that's all right. Things are complicated on the computer. If you don't know how to make the squared sign here, on my computer, it's control period. I'm not sure what it is on other people's. You could always Google that. If you can't do it, you can't do it. It's okay. And same for this. If you don't know how to make 1/4, pretty much computers will change that 1. If you do 1/4, it'll automatically change it to 1/4. So you could just do 1/4, and it might change it, it might not. It's okay.